Good afternoon. We're back here at TB's cabin. Just finished up making the firebox for my forge. Make the machetes and swords or whatever type of tools I decide to make out of it off this thing. Got my holes drilled for air jets. That's what them are. I'm not sure if y'all can see the air jets. Let me lean that forward you. All it is they're not perfect. They're just holes in the top and side where when you push the air through the tube here, push up the theoreticals to keep the, in order to put oxygen to your coals and your fire. And then you can lay your blade down alongside this or up here on this rack. And then up here on top I can put a wire rack on each end later if I want to soften it up just a little bit when you're done. You want to harden your steel, but you don't want to get so hard that it snaps. You know, because you got to be a little flexible. Oh boy, this thing's still not good. Now, what I did in the end here, I just took and went out to the garden and dug me up some red clay. I had to go down a couple of foot and get out some red clay. And I stopped this end up so the air is forced when it comes in this end. I don't know if y'all can see where the air. Let me set this where you can see it. Move the camera again. Now, right there is the air import where I'll be putting my blower connections hooked up to this, and that's where the air would flow through the tube and come out the holes of the drill to feed the fire with oxygen. That's what it basically amounts to, is giving the fire enough oxygen. I may decide to drill some more holes in it here or there later. But it's got plenty of holes, I think. I didn't want to, because you want to force air through those holes to the fire, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to have too much air going out all in one spot, so I wanted it to be distributed all down through there. I've got them about every 3 inches to 4 inches apart on the sides and every inch apart down the middle of the top of this, which will feed a lot of oxygen to this fire should when I build the first fire. Now, the other thing I haven't completed, I'll probably put an extension on here, weld on some pipe, come out here, and then put a rubber boot out here so it won't be so hot on it up here. I may do that. And the last thing I haven't done yet is put a lid on. I've got to put some hinges on one side or the other of this, weld the hinges on there, and top half of the hot water tank. That's all this is, just an old hot water tank that I cut into. I've got about $10 tied up in this thing now, something like that, maybe 15, because I had the table legs already here. It's a portable table legs, and I have put a patent on it because it's the first one like it that I've seen anywhere. We'll see how good it works. That'll be the tell whether it's worth anything to anybody. Now, I don't care if y'all make you one, but I just seen, I'd rather you didn't go selling them, because this is my patent idea. Folding the legs on a portable forge, I haven't seen any like it anywhere. I mean, there may be, I ain't saying there ain't, but nothing like the way I got this mess. I mean, quite obvious. It don't look very fancy, and it ain't for fancy. It's made for working. And I don't mind, like I say, people making them to use for their own use, so I don't mind sharing this information as long as they don't go to sell it. Because that's my trademark. And I'm going to try to sell them myself. It's portable, so you can fold it up. You can load it in a car or truck and take it with you. Same way with the brake drum forge over there. But y'all seen the brake drum forge. I've seen a lot of them, I'm sure, but it's right over there in that old barbecue pit and barbecue smoker is where I put my brake drum forge. Now it worked good for my knives, but I had a lot of trouble getting that machete tempered. So now I've got to re-temper the machete because it didn't temper good, which left it option to bend too much. So when I was splitting wood, it did split the wood, but it will disform it. I'll show you that machete in a little bit, so hang tight. I'll be back with you, and thanks for tuning in with TB. But I just wanted to let y'all check out the forge I made out of just scrap. Pretty much it's just scrap from the whole hot water tank. Cut it in half. It don't have to be perfect. Just as long as you got a firebox to hold your coals. And that tube that's in there, 3-inch pipe, was the hot water tank's tube. The tube that I cut out of it, and then I just put it back in there and dropped it in the bottom. Dropped it down in the bottom. See, it used to be up here. But this way, the tube will be used again for the purpose, and I won't have to go buy no pipe, or not much pipe, if any. This is 3-inch pipe, though. I'm going to have to try to find a 3-inch rubber coupling to put that on here. And I may go with a one-way air valve. Come out here with another piece of pipe and weld out here. Maybe find an old piece of tailpipe or something, or find some pipe somewhere, or another hot water heater, and weld it together. Get it up in there, weld it out here. Let it come on out here a foot or so at least, and then I put a coupling on it. You know, a rubber cup like I got over there, and then put your, because if you put your roller here, as hot as this will get, it'll melt that plastic blower all the crap. So I can't use it there. So I've got to get it out here away from a little ways away from the tube, because if you don't, it'll melt that down real good. It'll blow it won't be worth the crap to you, unless you got a regular blower for them. What I'm using is hair dryers, plastic hair dryers. Melt them all good. Used to have one when I was a kid that was hand crank and electric. It did with both universal. And the forge was made different than this. It was a big A forge and had a top on it, closed and everything. It was pretty neat. You could even get a walking 12-inch plow in there. You know how big a plow is. Some of you folks may remember on the farm, and for 12-inch, 14-inch plow shears, we'd take and we'd have to straighten them and heat them and then retemper them for plowing. Because if it's bent up, you have to beat it back out. You got to soften it up where you can shape it back to its normal shape, so that you can plow with it. But if you don't, and sometimes I had 3 of them on a plow. You know, there'd be like 3 or 4 of them plows, 12-inch, 14-inch plow. In a roll like this thing, where you plow a lot more ground behind the tractor. But I also did the walking 12-inch plow and 14-inch that went behind the horse. We had those. We had case mowers that pull behind horse drawn. We had stationary balers, hay baler. We had horse-drawn socky rakes. So people wondering how farmers and ranchers got by back in the day without electric. That's what we did. Everything had to be done by hand or by horsepower or something of that nature, especially if you didn't have a tractor. If you had a tractor, use uptown Sody, because you could use the PTO off, run a belt, you could run a buzz saw, you could run your baler, your stationary balers. There's a whole lot you can do, but you had to bring the hay, you had to rake the hay up and haul it over to the baler. And feed it to the baler. The baler didn't pull around over the field to the rolls of hay. A lot different. Anyway, I don't know how I got to talking about that, but I was just talking about all the equipment that was used back in the day. All right, thanks for tuning in to TV. I'm gonna hop off here, and I'll be back with you shortly, and I'll show you that machete what I'm talking about. Thanks for tuning in.